I'm Chewy.
I'm Pepper.
And we're from Geeky Elites. Gonna talk about our experience of watching the new Spider-Man movie. So, this Spider-Man is kind of like a remake of the originals again, and it's the 6th standalone Spider-Man movie, and it's the 7th one with Spider-Man in it.
But let's be honest, he calls it a standalone, and it is, but I think this is what the first Spider-Man, where of course they're connecting it to the overall universe, so I almost don't consider it standalone, even though most of the standalone movies aren't really standalone anymore. I think Marvel has gotten away from complete standalone.
It's more standalone than more not.
Yeah, but not like original Marvel, like Thor and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But the idea behind this one is, like the others, it kind of shows his life in the role of Spider-Man, and shows a new enemy, and kind of, since it's a newer movie and it's with the Marvel movies, it kind of shows how his connection with the Avengers and all that, right? What else would you say?
The enemy is cool. His name is Vulture. So the main bad guy is Vulture. He is, in the comic books, a very popular, he's one of the top 6 that Spider-Man always fights.
Sinister Six.
Yeah, Sinister Six. He's actually a really big bad guy. I loved how they built up his character. This is one of the few times Marvel did a great job at building up a bad guy. Because, spoiler alerts, which we didn't warn you guys, spoiler alerts for this review, it starts off the movie with Vulture. It starts off with building his backstory on how he's a normal guy. He's getting pretty much screwed by the government and by Iron Man and the Avengers. And his whole livelihood's pretty much going to be destroyed. But he kind of turns into, like, a good guy trying to make his life work.
Good guy, bad guy.
And then kind of becomes more of a bad guy because he's already slightly down.
There was 2 differences between this one and prior ones. One, they didn't really show the backstory of how he got bit and all that.
They just said the spider bit him. And they only do it, like, off conversation with his friend. I'm like...
That, and in all the other ones, Parker's, like, high school nemesis, Flash Thompson, it was, like, not as, like, violent in this one. He was more, like, verbally.
Yeah, verbally. I think they're moderating it up, to be honest. And, like I said, if they get... right after the movie, I was talking to Chewie, and I was like, oh, I'm so pissed they didn't do Spider-Man's origin. But then I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm glad they did Vulture's origin more than Spider-Man. I'm willing to let them give up on an origin most people already know.
From
and
6 movies.
You can't really change it. I mean, you can slightly tweak it, but not a whole lot. All Spider-Man origin is he gets bit by a spider.
Kind of redundant.
And something
obvious.
happens to change him.
But our reason for seeing it was another Spider-Man movie, of course.
Or Marvel, horrors.
It was action-y and Marvel, yeah. We love Marvel. Also, it got a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, so it got really good reviews. So that was another reason we saw it. It was more funny than I thought it would be.
I like it because it's action-y, but not really. There's a few really good action-y parts. It's funny. He's funny and stuff. And I was actually thrilled to hear Marvel and Sony. I was actually thrilled to hear they teamed up together to make this movie, because I was getting sick of, like, Spider-Man not being in Marvel Universe. It was ridiculous.
You want to know the reason behind that?
Because they wanted to make money, probably.
Well, that and Sony realized that they had to, like, do a venture, like, with Marvel to actually, like, make a good movie. So that's why they're willing to, like, sacrifice at least to, like, a compromise with them. Maybe not give them all the rights, but at least, like, make a movie with them.
But I think Sony must have had a lot of influence in this movie, because, like I said, a lot of the Marvel movies lately have been, like, over ridiculous battle scenes. Especially with the newest Guardians. It was super over ridiculous battle scenes. And this one was much more Deadpool, Spider-Man classic, where there's like a couple big moments, but then it's like humor and just being funny. Which, remember you said, funny thing guys, Spider-Man has Deadpool's eyes, like with the movements and stuff, and I'm just like, and he brought it up in the movie, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, But also, it was interesting to note that Michael Keaton was the bad guy, and then
Took me a while.
and then also earlier I looked up and saw a video on YouTube where the actor behind Spider-Man got the role because of like how acrobatic and like how like physical endurance he was.
I remember when we were going on a tour, one of the Spider-Mans, I don't know if it was for this newest one or one of the last ones, they look for people who are like that because one of the Spider-Mans like convinced the filming crew to have him like go way up of the fake sets just to see what Spider-Man would be like, and I'm like, if they look for people like that, that's ridiculous. But at the same time, I would do
cool.
that. I would do that.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie going out, and I was interested to see what it was like going in.
And if you're not, I wasn't super thrilled to see it as much as he was. I was just like, okay, it's another Marvel movie. Don't really care. But I originally watching this movie changed my original thought, and I came out going, wow. It's my sense of humor. It's Deadpool, but it's not as crass as Deadpool. It's like, it's cute, fun humor. There's almost no bad words in it, which is, I think, is why it gets such a low rating. But it's classic superheroes from the 80s and 90s. I loved it.
And it was very, very entertaining.
It was actually entertaining.
Uh,
So it does align really well
with the comics.
With the comics. I think I get a little, because I always forget that I'm much more into the older comic books, so like Spider-Man's powers and how he like kind of doesn't get him until late high school, college is always what I've known Spider-Man as.
Haven't the comics been out for like 60, 70 years?
They're really old. So I've always been like original comic books more, and a lot of the remakes make me go, eh. But like this actually aligned, this was a fresh take between trying to keep the old, but like making the slight changes with like his powers being something he made, or the Spidey being something he made, but they kept a lot of his like good powers, like his super strength and stuff that the Spider-Man's always been known for. So I think they tried to keep it as lined as possible, but they had to keep it fresh, and I think they did a decent job.
So
at
a little
it.
bit of both. We both have one thing we realized this movie aligns with the comics really well with.
I thought it was kind of cool because the web shooter is a gadget, and I know that aligns with some of the comics, but not all of them. So I think that's really cool. And it was kind of cool to see the gadgets again. I'm not a fan of it. I wish he kind of just had the powers, but hey.
It kind of sucks to say you don't have the gadget on you. How could you do the power?
Which they do talk about in the movie, but then it's such a cool scene because then his friend comes and picks it up and shoots it, and I'm like, awesome! And his friend was always wanting to try stuff and wear the suit and everything.
And he does.
Yeah, just the mask. But it is cute too because Peter's friend, he actually has a best friend who knows. So you don't see like the angsty Spider-Man that have been in the newer ones.